Welcome to the next video, MVP case studies. So, in this video, we'll be majorly looking at three products, namely Airbnb, Buffer, and Groupon. So, we'll be discussing how these startups or how these products have built their MVP and how did they build a successful product right now. So let's start with Airbnb. So anyone knows what Airbnb stands for? Air, bed, and breakfast. So do you know how Airbnb initially came into existence? So let's see how the journey of Airbnb actually started. So there are two designers, Joey and Brian, who want to attend this conference, and a lot of people have struggled to get an hotel in order to get into or in order to attend that particular event. So these two guys figured out, this hotel booking is an issue, and let's do what we can offer our bed, and maybe we can offer a breakfast for the people who wants to stay with us. So what did they have done? They simply made up a simple landing page where they kind of like wrote a simple information about the conference, and in order if you're facing a issue with getting some hotel or a place to stay, we kind of hosting a bed and a breakfast for you, and feel free to contact us and we are happy to host you. So that is how Airbnb has actually started. And initially there's like a lot of like not a good amount of confidence with the founders, but you know what, like three people have actually showed up and they kind of like stayed along with Joey and Brent. So these three people have actually paid in like $240 as overall amount to them, and this was indeed a great validation. So this actually helped Joey and Brain to look upon the growth perspectives and build their website even better. So later that in the year 2008, they have similarly attended this another conference, and again they have launched this Airbnb there, and they have got a good number of customers, and they got a very good strong amount of user feedback. And even the very great thing about these founders is they actually went and clicked the pictures of the Airbnbs or the rooms that they kind of like hosted, and they put them in the website, and also they self-reviewed and gave the reviews in the website. So as a whole, it got a very good initial funding, and then where Airbnb is today. So what exactly we can learn from Airbnb case study is that a MVP can help you validate your idea, but for the future growth purpose, you should be on your own. MVP is a great thing to validate, to get that initial user feedback. I mean, like let's say if at all the founders had this idea only in their mind, like let's say hosting people to stay with us for a one night. See, it kind of like has some mixed reactions. Okay, someone living with a stranger, and there's like a sort of a very benefit of doubt, like where the decision making of the customers could potentially go wrong, and this everything is happening in the founder's head. They really don't know if someone comes and stays there. But what they have done, they have just simply built up a landing page. They put up on that, they put up on the details of the stay and the contact details and the address, and you know what, and three customers have landed up. So this was a great piece of validation for them, and a good start for their idea. And what is most important thing is in this journey of Airbnb's MVP is that it was used to validate the problem, not exactly the solution. What I mean is that sometimes you want to know if people really have a problem that I'm working on, or that I want to build my startup on or my product on. So this was again a very interesting point in the case of Airbnb. So they use this MVP to validate the idea or the problem. Like let's say people really want to, or people are really having this hotel issues and they are open to stay with others. So this kind of validation on the idea is very important, because like let's say you have built something very great, but the people are not at all having that problem. then that's a great mismatch, and there would be a lot of waste of time and effort, right? So that is why these are the two important main lessons that we can learn from Airbnb case, is that MVP is there to validate your idea and get that initial user feedback, but to to grow more beyond that, MVP is not that perfect solution. You need to use that user feedback, you need to use that validate in order to build your product roadmap and align with your user interests. And the second one, MVPs are main can be used to validate different parts, or whether it can be an idea or the problem or the solution of your solution that you are proposing to that problem. But here, it is very important to validate your idea or the problem statement that you're working also. Now, let's move on to Buffer. So Buffer is a very interesting, story. Like, let's say the Buffer's founder was, is one of a guy who kind of provides the tech and startup news. So he kind of like often tweets the news and all the things, and using his Twitter account. And there was like a lot of requests from the users who reads his tweets that, why can't you increase the number of tweets on a daily basis? Why can't you engage more here in this platform? So, the Buffer founder thought, okay, this is somewhat a genuine issue, like where I was not able to tweet on a regular basis, and if all in a sudden in one day, if I kind of like tweet all my things, it would be just a spam and a lot of information, and I could have missed my my attention on the users or the audience. So he simply got an idea. That is, like, let's say, what if there is someone who is posting my tweets on behalf of me? So that is how the scheduling application has come into the picture. So how did he start? So Buffer's founder is really an advocate, a serious advocate of MVP. So he didn't even code a one piece of line, but he what did he do is he just came up with this simple landing page where he kind of like kept what is the problem or what is the solution that he is trying to propose, and how kind of like it helps, and if the user or the audience are genuinely interested, he has asked just to drop in the mail so that the early bird access can be given to those customers. So he actually created this landing page to get that initial validation. Again, is this a problem to other users also? Am I working on a right problem? So if I'm like working on the right problem, like, are the users ready to pay? So that is how he added another page, like where he want to validation that, okay, people actually read this information and people actually give their email for the early bird access. So what he did, he kind of like put the prices and what kind of provisions he wants to provide on the free version, standard version, and max version. And you know what? And there are a number of emails that have landed up in his emails daily, and this has given him a very good validation. And as a first MVP, or as a first kind of a product, he took like 7 weeks to complete the coding and all, and he launched the first product, or the first solution, I would call, so in 7 weeks. And then now present, like, where is Buffer? It actually like has become the scheduling application for a lot of variety of applications like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. And it also integrates analytics, like the view percentages or the click rates or the open rates and all. So this is a very interesting case study, like where you can even test your idea, or you can even test your problem statement without actually needing a very real product or a perfect product, or even just start coding. Like, you came up with an idea, you came up with a solution to a particular problem statement, but what is important is to get that initial validation and that initial user feedback, and keep your product really minimal, right? I mean, Buffer at the start, he didn't, the founder or the Buffer didn't, kept so many features or kept so many details into the product. So they simply add a landing page where, create your tweets, time your tweets, and land these tweets in Buffer, and Buffer will take care of posting them. So this is what is a core feature of their product. Like, simply you give us your tweets and tell us what time you want to schedule them, and we will take care of the rest. So that is how simple the product was, really. And now, as I've said earlier, it moved into other across platforms. It helps in scheduling LinkedIn posts, Instagram posts, etc., and it also helps in analytics. So once you know that you are working on a right problem, that gives a very good guidance and a very good confidence to move in that direction. But any stage in the early development, if there is a slight bit of negative feedback or if the users are not interested, please pivot and understand from the previous learnings actually of what happened, what is the approach that I have taken in order to build a product. Did I do the enough market research? Did I talk to the real customers who are facing this issue? So ask these questions when you are pivoting to some other thing after you get that feedback from the MVP. So now the next one, Groupon. So a little gyan here. Ankur Vaikur used to work as the CEO, for the Groupon in his early stages of the career after completion of his MBA. But talking about Groupon journey, so how it actually started is, the founder actually created a first version. I mean, he launched his first startup called The Point. So the point is about connecting people and bringing together people to work on a single task where it cannot be done using which cannot be done by a single person. Like, let's say if there is a raise funding to fund a raise or a networking opportunity, it can't be done by a single person, right? So the point is, like, a basic idea is to bring all these people together and to help them do or work on a single task. So the point, if you see it, it kind of like taken like 11 to 12 months to create this MVP and come into life. And it was like a, I wouldn't say disaster, but it didn't go according to the founder's expectation. He was not actually seeing a great impact of the solution or the idea that he has proposed and the way the people are using it. But what he has understood that is the platform, the point was mainly used to used for collective buying. So when you say collective buying, when you reduce a significant amount of the money on a particular item or a product or a service, a lot of people tend to buy it. So this was a main observation of the founder while he was after building the point. So what did he do? He pivoted and then he built on Groupon. So Groupon is this voucher or coupon offering system where you can see deals on different things, like either it's food or clothing or events or etc. And even for their MVP, they simply used FileMaker, a simple Mac OS application at the time. With that, they kind of like created the coupons, and then they bulkly they bulkly send the mails to deliver these coupons or vouchers to their users' mails. So what we can learn from this Groupon idea is that, or the Groupon MVP is that, keep your time to market very short. When you compare the point and the Groupon, right? There's like a 10x difference in both the time and effort. When it comes to time and effort, they simply use a simple FileMaker or OS application to make the coupons and a delivery system to deliver the mails every day to the user. So this has actually helped, to allow the Groupon to early access to the market, take the early advantage to the market, and get that initial feedback from the users also to improve upon the features what they want to build. And if at all there is no point, there is no Groupon. So that is what the second point says about. Look at how people act your or existing solutions, pick up a niche. So you kind of like went ahead with a problem statement on your own and you worked on it and you proposed a solution and you productized it. But observe how people are using it. Sometimes that also gives a very good niche where you can pick it up and build it on a long run. So this is what Groupon exactly does. So ideally, if you see like what are the core things that I'm learning from these three case studies and why I specifically took these three case studies, is because there was no lot of amount of coding involved. Even if there is a lot of coding involved, I think so today's world, with the use of no codes, it can be easily done in I would say like in 10 to 15 hours. And these are very service based products also. Like, let's say Airbnb, you have two sides again. You have these hosting platforms or the houses where you have to convince the people to host them, and there's a group on product like where you need a lot of coupon or a lot of communication kind of a system. But if you really see, there are very simple applications and there are very simple tools around in the market which could help you to deliver the solution to the market. But you need to focus on your core problem statement. You need to build your MVP very fast, keeping all the points that we discussed earlier, like what are the key things in launching your MVP. And you need to be ready to learn from your mistakes, and you need to understand if there is something lacking. What is the thing I'm lacking? Is it a marketing or is it a product thing? And see what pivots you can really change, and always keep your MVP minimal at ease of, I mean, at considering all the design considerations, ease of user experience, and ease of use and functionality. Yeah, I hope with these learnings, with these with these case studies, you would be like getting a good idea of like how exactly a MVP should be, and what are the different ways. Even if I don't have a very good strong coding background, even I can launch an MVP and get that validation and user feedback. So with that, thank you.